Time. In a very busy neighborhood, one early morning, the sound of a baby's cry rose from a dustbin. People gathered, shocked and curious. When they pulled away the cover, there lay a tiny baby wrapped in clothes. The crowd murmured, some pitied, some turned away. But in the middle of the crowd, a woman stepped forward. She and her husband had no child of their own. With tears in her eyes, she begged the people, "Please, give her to me. I will raise her as my own." The crowd agreed, and from that moment, the abandoned baby found a home. The couple named her Gift. They cared for her with all the love they could give. Years later, they enrolled her in school. Gift was exceptionally brilliant. But children can be cruel. Some classmates mocked her after school, whispering, "You were picked from the dustbin." Gift would run home in tears. Her mother would gather her in her arms, stroke her hair, and whisper, "Don't cry, my child. Where you came from does not matter. Where you are going is what counts. You are a star. Someday you will shine." Those words became her strength. But life, as it often does, turned bitter. One evening, her parents traveled for a family event and had a ghastly accident that claimed their lives. Gift's world collapsed. The only people who ever loved her were gone. She was just a teenager. Months later, the estate manager evicted her because she could not renew. With nowhere else to go, Gift started selling fruits by the roadside. Day after day, under the scorching sun, she struggled to survive, carrying not just the weight of the tray and the fruits, but also the weight of her pain. Yet inside her, the words of her mother still burned like fire. "Where you are going is what counts. You are a star." Selling fruits was not easy for Gift. Every day she battled hunger, insults, and loneliness. Sometimes, her old classmates would pass by. Laughing cruelly, they said, "Look at the girl that was picked up from the dustbin. Now she's selling bananas." But Gift refused to give up. Each night, after selling, she sat under the streetlight with her torn school books, teaching herself, reading aloud, solving equations on scraps of paper. One evening, a kind teacher who used to know her saw her on the street, reading. Shocked, he asked, "Gift, why are you here? You should be in school." With tears in her eyes, she narrated her story. Moved with compassion, the teacher helped her win a scholarship. That was the turning point. Gift returned to school, this time stronger, wiser, and more determined. Soon, her brilliance attracted attention. She won competitions, earned awards, and eventually gained admission into university. Years later, Gift became a renowned medical doctor and surgeon. She was known all over the place as the best surgeon. She came back to that same town and built an orphanage and named it after her late parents. At the orphanage's opening ceremony, in which the high and mighty in the state were in attendance, she stood before the children and said, "I was once abandoned in a dustbin, but love found me, and education lifted me." You are not defined by where you started, but by how far you can go. If you are inspired by this story, like, share and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. God bless you.